What's up, everybody? I'm Flash. This is One Man's Opinion, the show where we cover just about everything, and today we've got a movie review coming at you. We're talking about Bullet Train. Bullet Train is a movie that came out this year, and it stars pretty much everybody in Hollywood. People from Joey King and Brad Pitt to Sandra Bullock and a cameo by Ryan Reynolds. And of course it has Hiroyuki Sanada, who is just in everything right now. Seems like everywhere I look, I see that guy in a movie. It's got Aaron Taylor Johnson, and honestly, the movie is phenomenal. I had such a good time watching this movie. Honestly, typically with my reviews, I start with the negatives, but I don't really have any. I could really just nitpick the smallest of things if I wanted to be that kind of guy with this movie, but the honest truth is, it's a great time of a film. It's hilarious. It's got a lot of really good comedy in it, but it's also got excellent action in it. The director, David Leitch, is the same guy who directed the John Wick movies, so you know he knows how to do choreographed action scenes, and that really stands out in this film. The acting is phenomenal. I think each actor involved in this film really brought everything that they needed to their characters. People understood what this movie was, and it is kind of like this crazy, wacky tale of assassins and spies and robberies and just all these different crazy underworld, underbelly kind of people meeting on this train, and they're all after something a little bit different. Some of them are after the same things, and it all culminates in this epic battle, but also circumstances that are very convenient at times, inconvenient at others. And that's really the theme of the movie. It talks a lot about fate. It talks a lot about luck and being lucky or unlucky. And it uses those themes to really play around with what happens in the movie and allow some really outlandish things to take place. But because it sets up this theme of being lucky or unlucky or having fate determine, you really get some Final Destination-like kills in this movie. You really get some crazy, outlandish, I would say, Kingsman-type fight scenes where things are just kind of like nuts. The choreography of these fight scenes, they're all really, really good, but it's also played off for comedy so often. But in a movie where everything is so action-based or comedy-based, it's amazing to find that there are still touching moments of gravity. There are moments that are legitimately sad. There was a moment where a certain character dies that I was like, oh no. Like, legitimately, I loved that character, and I don't want to get into spoilers here because I don't know how many people have watched this movie yet. It's not been out for too awful long, a couple months now, I believe. It's on Netflix, so you can watch it there. But guys, I gotta be honest with you. This is one of the most phenomenal movies I have seen in a long time. I honestly couldn't say enough to praise this film. If you wanted me, because I know some of you do, you want to hear, okay, what's the worst part about it? What is the worst? Well, let me start by saying this. This isn't one of the worst things about it, just something that you as the audience should know. I should have said it sooner, but I didn't. The movie is rated R, so it's not like a family-friendly film. There is a lot of blood, there's a lot of cursing and language in the movie, and some adult themes, that sort of thing. So it's not a movie you want to take the kids and, sit in the living room and eat popcorn and watch. It's not that kind of movie. But if you love movies, if you love great stories, that's something I haven't really touched on yet. The story of this is honestly the twists and turns that it takes and the connections it's able to make throughout the narrative, bringing all these people together. It's really astounding. And it's such a simple thing overall that brings them all together. It's such an obvious thing, but you're kind of swept up in everything that's going on in this movie that you don't really look for a twist. If I go into a Christopher Nolan movie, then I'm going to know to kind of look for a twist toward the end of the movie. Or an M. Night Shyamalan movie, I know to be kind of like on guard and making guesses. But this movie is so much fun, and it's action, and it's comedy, And so you get caught up in just enjoying yourself, and you're not really expecting many twists and turns, but it actually has quite a few. The story itself is really, really good, and that's what's so impressive about this movie, is it's able to pull off so many different facets of things that you might enjoy in movies that you watch, whether it is comedy movies or whether it is action, whether you love good choreography in your action scenes, whether you like really good acting or really good storytelling. This movie really brings it all together. The one thing, there was one scene, and it wasn't even a scene, it was part of a scene that bothered me, and it's sort of a typical action movie thing that happens where one of the nameless henchmen run in with a gun, and the hero doesn't have a gun, and so the henchman starts to spray, with the bullets, and the hero of the story dives behind something, but he's like 6 foot away from the guy that's shooting. He's only like 6 foot away. He's right there. And the guy that's shooting continues to just shoot at, chest level and doesn't even like point and aim downward to where the hero went. I hate to see stuff like that because it's like, why is this guy? Don't take me out of the movie for something so unbelievable. You could have him point there and just be like, oh yeah, the wall had some reinforced metal in it, ricochet bullets, whatever. I'm not going to question it too much because the movie is so phenomenal. That happens very near the end. It's so phenomenal up until that point. That was the one scene, the one little tidbit of a scene that I was like, come on, it's been like darn near perfect. Even some of the more outlandish things that take place during the fight scenes, you can chalk up because the movie does deal with luck and fate so much. So it's an excellent cop-out to have some more ridiculous, outlandish things happen during the fights. And I'm fine with it because they do it so well. They make it work for the movie. Other times, other movies where I see things like that, I might think it was a little hacky. I might think it was a little convenient, but this movie makes it work for it. And so that one scene bothered me because it wasn't like that sort of Final Destination where this happens, this happens, this happens, and because of all these chain reactions, this other thing happens to happen at just the right time to save the hero or to, maybe harm the villain or to block a bullet, that sort of thing. Like, I'm interested in that sort of thing, and because the movie sets it up so well, I'm okay with it. But when a henchman is just shooting and the hero, goes that way and the henchman continues to shoot here, what are we doing? Come on. There's one little bit of choreography that bothered me. But I digress. The rest of the movie is completely phenomenal. Again, if you wanted to nitpick, there's a couple of moments of CGI that I thought could use a little bit of a touch-up. Didn't look phenomenal, didn't look just amazing, but 9 times out of 10, this movie blew my socks off. I would say 9.9 times out of 10. Every step of the way, aside from one or two, and they're such small, it's not a full scene, it's such small things just here or there sprinkled within. No movie's perfect. I never give a 100 out of a 100 on here. So I'm not going to do that. But this movie is the best movie that I've watched, the best new movie that I've watched in a long time. And I highly, highly recommend, if you're a fan of movies at all, go take the time to watch Bullet Train. Chances are it's got an actor you're going to like in it. Chances are it's got a character you're going to like in it. Chances are there's going to be a lot of scenes that you enjoy. Chances are you're going to laugh. Chances are you're going to gasp. Chances are you're going to be kind of taken aback by what's happening. Chances are you're going to be caught off guard. You're not going to see it all coming. It's all really, really good, and I highly recommend it. I'm giving Bullet Train a 99 out of 100. That is the highest possible score because I don't believe anything's perfect on this channel. So congratulations, Bullet Train. You get the coveted 99 out of 100 on the One Man's Opinion channel. Guys, thank you all so much for stopping in and listening to me talk about Bullet Train. Please put your comments down below. I would love to get some feedback and hear the same kind of excitement, the same kind of energy that I had after I watched this movie. I think the best thing I did is I only saw like one commercial for this movie, like one time. Only reason I watched it is because a buddy of mine recommended it to me, and I'm so glad that he did. So, I want to hear what your thoughts, what caught you off guard, what were your thoughts on Bullet Train? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for stopping by, for hitting the like button, for commenting, for supporting the channel. If you want to further support the channel, you can join the channel with the join button below. You can click the link to the Patreon that's on my channel. Or if you don't want to do a subscription-based payment or something like that to support the channel, you can always help me out with a one-time donation in the Cash App down below. It's in the description. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Let me know what you guys thought. If you didn't like Bullet Train, if you think my opinion is garbage, don't be mad about it. Remember, this is just one man's opinion. Thanks.